Hello, everybody. Just going to have a little fun here with some of the model madness that I am seeing, particularly as it comes to next week's weather. I want to put this out here. You all probably already seen this. This is the Storm Prediction Center Severe Weather Outlook. That's actually the 20th. Here's the 19th right here. They're highlighting an area. If I can watch my fingers here. Got Oklahoma City to Tulsa to the Dallas area. A lot of unknowns at this point in time. You'll see why. They also have highlighted area in the Dixie Alley down here towards Jackson, Mississippi, back towards Shreveport, Lake Charles. Probably staying north of New Orleans and Mobile and getting over toward Montgomery. Maybe up to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Not exactly sure yet. And these will change. And here comes the madness right here. And I'm going to start with the European model. Okay. Here's how things are currently. We have a cold front coming from the north. You can see the low up here in Minnesota. Down here we have kind of a what I call a failed tropical system. But it's brought a lot of heavy rain to Florida. Even had a tornado warning in the Keys yesterday, and another very impressive band of storms that had lots of rotation, and it had what basically akin to a special marine warning for waterspouts. I don't know if anything came of that, but nevertheless, it's kind of interesting. But like I said, a lot of the areas in central and southern Florida got several inches of rain out of this deal. Here in Indiana, we need some rain, very dry. Now we're going to probably change that tonight into tomorrow. So pull this forward. See, cold front comes through during the night into tomorrow. Not expecting a lot of heavy rain here. But rain nevertheless, and that, of course, will bring our temperatures down. And you can see the low departing Florida down there that caused all that mischief. And we kind of move forward here. I want you to notice as well, kind of look at this area down here. The Euro model is not picking up this one. The GFS actually picks it up a little bit better. And I'll show it to you here shortly. And so we're going to move this forward. Gets a little cooler, then we get warmer toward midweek. And here comes the system of interest right here. Forms somewhere in the Mississippi Valley, low southern plains. And now, keep in mind, this is the Euro's take. Shows showers and storms and potentially some severe weather, particularly in the south, in the southern plains. What is kind of interesting is this upper low. Now, like I said, this is a Euro's take, and you're going to see something totally different on the GFS here in a minute. Has a 999 low, and this is roughly getting into Tuesday afternoon over Evansville. So still kind of keeping us in the warm sector. If you notice up there, you can see colder air in tow. And what I also find a little interesting, I've kind of seen this little signal right here. You see here, kind of as that low comes on off into the afternoon, kind of this little line here, and I'm guessing if the Euro is correct, and I'm not totally sure at this point in time it is, but if the Euro is correct, this would cause kind of the old what I call the chili dog setup, where you do have kind of a skinny little line, and it's kind of messy. You know, like chili dogs are messy. And you get gusty winds with them and heavy rains. Maybe you even get a thunderstorm warning or something of that nature. In rare cases, even a tornado warning, but not much to it. I've seen this look on the Euro, so that is something to keep in mind next week. But we at this point in time, do I know for sure if anything's going to happen severe weather wise out of the Dixie states or up into or in the southern plains? Absolutely not. So do not take this as a slam dunk forecast, because you're going to see why in a minute why it's not. And then much colder air comes in. Some moisture is left behind of this deepening storm. You see, it gets pretty, Euro wants to bomb this pretty big time and bring some much colder air and some lake effect snows up into the Great Lakes. And, you know, lake effect snows can always find their ways further to the south as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, much colder air, but check this out. Here comes the next system, already on its heels as we get into next weekend. And this system, according to the Euros, kind of, again, we warm up again, and almost looks like another little severe weather look to it. So just keep that in mind. But now I'm going to show you the GFS. Again, here's our system for tonight into tomorrow. And flip this forward, you see, about the same there. You can see there's the remnant low that brought all the rain to Florida. But I also want you to see that right there? That little guy right there. That's actually now has been dubbed by the National Hurricane Center in the Caribbean, as of this video, potential tropical cyclone number 22. It is forecast to strengthen and become tropical and become tropical storm vents. So, and that's supposed to come up through the Caribbean and through the Leeward Islands, where there are tropical storm watches already in effect for this thing. So kind of interesting development there in the tropics. The GFS has pegged pretty well. Euro seems to lose it. So not quite sure what that is. But we'll get our cool down for the week, and then here comes the next system on the GFS. Not quite as deep on the GFS. It kind of shows kind of a meandering low, kind of a weakening low, and then another secondary development down here where that does look more like a little bit more like a potential severe weather setup in the south down here. But, you know, you pull it back here toward Texas and Oklahoma, yeah, you might maybe right there. Could be some strong storms right there in the warm sector. And see, then it pulls it north. It doesn't really affect the Ohio Valley in terms of any strong storms or anything. So colder air comes in. Again, might get a little lake effect come down there if enough moisture is left over. And then we kind of just push it out. And look at here. GFS actually wants to put another kind of maybe tropical, subtropical, or some type of just soaking rain, upper low, down into the Gulf and move it towards Florida and into the southeast. Now, see this right? If this right here is correct, that might even be a severe weather setup down into Florida, into the Carolinas and Georgia. But look to your west. Here comes the next one. And remember, the Euro had a severe weather look to it. Look what this one has. This one has a snow look to it. It's also to note that the GFS also paints a stronger, colder high as well. So it wants to put the colder air further to the south than the Euro does. The Euro doesn't really grab onto that idea. The GFS does to some degree here. Something to watch. So there you see and that again, that's next weekend. So, again, some model madness there as well. Are we going to see snow? Are we going to see severe weather in the Ohio Valley? The answer is low confidence forecast. Do not know. I would say the probabilities right now are fairly low. Now, if we see these looks come between the Euro and the GFS, if we see these become more consistent with each other and start to kind of agree with each other, you know, then we might want to take a look. But I think the one thing is with the system coming in early next week, there definitely appears to be some type of signal for at least some severe weather in the southern plains, lower Mississippi Valley into the southeastern states, Dixie Alley, as you call it, maybe even getting into Florida there a little bit. Potentially the Carolinas if enough energy is left over, if it doesn't eject out too quickly. So interesting times ahead. Which will win out? Stay tuned.